An oarsman in a Roman galley was rowing to the beat of the drum. He looked over at the oarsman next to him and was horrified at what he saw. The oarsman in the next seat was drilling a hole in the bottom of the boat under his seat. As the water began to gush into the boat, the first oarsman exclaimed, "What in Jupiter's name are you doing?" The other man replied, "What's it to you? I'm only drilling the hole under my seat." So the point of this story, of course, is that when we're all riding in the same boat, no matter whose seat the hole is under, everybody's going to get wet. Nowhere is this truer than in a family. When one member has a problem, the ripples are felt throughout the family. And remember the five main qualities of character that form the foundation of the individual's ability to succeed in our democratic society. Their courage, self-esteem, responsibility, respect, and cooperation. And a child who learns to work cooperatively with others has a far greater chance of success than a child who stands alone. And cooperation is just the gentle art of working together for the common good. And that's the subject of this lesson. So let's start with the definition here. Cooperation is two or more people working together in a mutually supportive manner toward a common goal. The reason democratic societies flourish while those based on dictatorship or lawlessness are going to flounder, that's in large measure due to the fact that none of us is as smart as all of us. When people work together cooperatively, problems are solved and civilizations are built. And likewise, a child who learns to work cooperatively with others has a far greater chance of success than a child who stands alone or one who is in constant conflict. And most parents say that they want cooperation, but dictators demand cooperation, doormats hope for cooperation, and active parents teach cooperation. So this lesson is going to help you to develop the skills for teaching cooperation with your children. And to do this, we're going to need a few problems. And one of the realities of life, whether it's at home or at work or just in the community, is that problems will arise. And this is true for successful people and for groups, and it's true for those who are unsuccessful. But the difference is that those who succeed in our society are better able to handle problems effectively and to learn from them. Less people or less successful people are going to get bogged down in that self-pity, play the blame game. They're going to make excuses and just continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. And successful people seem to have the courage to cope with problems head on. They have enough self-esteem to believe that they are going to find a solution. The responsibility to accept ownership of the problem and the cooperative nature and respectful attitude to work with others in handling that problem. So, where did they learn all of these problem solving skills? Well, most likely they learned it through experience, from dealing with problems as children and then as an adult, and both inside the family and outside the family. Problems are a great resource for teaching. They're highly motivating. They give us a sense of urgency that overcomes our tendency to sit back and accept the status quo. And problems move lives forward. They help us grow. So when a problem occurs, the active parent will take a deep breath and then recognize that in spite of the inconvenience involved, uh, a wonderful teaching opportunity has just become available. So problems are this great resource for teaching. They're just highly motivating. And my own children will tell you that one of my most favorite phrases to use when they were growing up was, "We are not problem staters, we're problem solvers. Solve the problem." I believe that these three simple words are more than just a suggestion. They're a philosophy of life. And this whole course is kind of organized around the concept of handling problems. So we're going to start by looking at ways that you can build a cooperative relationship with your children and some skills for helping them learn to solve problems. In later lessons, I'm going to present some discipline skills that can help you solve problems of misbehavior with your children. But for right now, just communication is going to be key in all those cases, as we're going to continue to just stress the need for participation and mutual respect in handling problems successfully. So first, we're going to take a look at the problem handling model to get an overview of how this all fits together. The skills that make up this model are going to be presented in this lesson and the next 2 lessons. So in this problem handling model, we're going to anticipate and prevent problems through problem prevention talks and other family meetings, which we'll go through this and the next 2 lessons. But if a problem does happen, we have to determine who owns the problem. Is it the parent or the child, or is it a shared accountability there? So if it's a parent-owned problem, you're going to provide the discipline. You're going to determine the child's goal and negative approach, and then avoid paying off that misbehavior. So we can do a basic discipline, which is less structured, like a polite request, or use an iMessage or a firm reminder. Hey, remember I told you to get the dishes out of the dishwasher. A more advanced discipline might be a little bit more structured, like logical consequences and the FLAC method. If it's a child-owned problem, then you're going to provide support for the child. If it's appropriate, allow the natural consequences to teach the child. Let the child handle the problem, but offer support through active communication. But if it's a shared problem, you want to provide discipline and support. And so we refer that problem to a family meeting. But it doesn't matter who owns the problem. We want to encourage.